Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at Leetcode number 48, rotate image. So for this task you're being asked to rotate an array by 90 degrees or an image by 90 degrees. So just to break the problem down, what we're looking to do is take the rows of the array and kind of swap those into the columns starting from right to left. So we've got that in a 3-row array, and then we've got an array with 4 rows and 4 columns that we need to do that with as well. So we've got a function that needs to take a matrix, which is a 2D array, and we've been asked not to return anything but to rotate the image in place. So we're going to use the same array and do this in memory. So to help visualize and understand this a little bit better, I put together this little UI that will show you exactly what we're looking to do. So if we click this, we rotate the matrix and we see that the image is rotated. So going back to the first state of the matrix, we've got our row here, 1, 2, 3, and we can see that that is now in the position 1, 2, 3 in that column. 4, 5, 6 is there, it was here, and 7, 8, 9 is now here. So just to help you visualize that a little bit better, we can also have a look at this little Rubik's mode that I made, so we can see red, orange, green, and you can see how that is kind of just rotating 90 degrees every time you click that. I'll put a link in the description below so you can check this out and have a little play around with it before you get started on your own attempt at this Leetcode problem. So we're going to come over here to our editor and we're going to paste in that code from Leetcode, and we're just going to work in here. I'm using my browser just because if you want to follow along and you want to try TypeScript out, you can just head to typescriptlang.org/play and you can do this all straight from your browser. No need to install anything, and you can just get started with TypeScript right away. So we're going to come to our rotate function and we're working with a matrix. So the first thing that we want to do is loop through the matrix. So we're going to use a for loop for this. I'm going to say let I equals 0. I is less than. We're going to matrix.length, and then we're going to say I++. So we're going to loop through the first. We're going to loop through each row in the matrix. Right, now we need to loop through each column in our matrix. So we're going to say for let j equals I, and I'll go through why we're doing that in a minute. J less than matrix.length. And then we're going to say j++. So just to explain exactly what's happening here within our loops and why we're incrementing in the way we are. So we start in position 0, 0, and we're going to use those I and j variables to denote the position in the array that we're going to be addressing. So we're going to say I equals 0, j equals 0, we're going to start in this position. The next loop is going to come around and j is going to iterate by 1. So it's going to increment j by 1, and we're going to then take the position 0, 1, and we're going to swap that with the value in position 1, 0, which is going to be 4. So 4 and 2 are going to swap. We're then going to take the next iteration and take 0, 2 and swap that with 2, 0. So 1, 0, 1, 2, and then in the 0 position on the second index. And we're going to swap those, so 3 and 7 will swap. We're then going to come down to the next row because j is going to equal I, and when I equals 1, j will equal 1. So we're going to come here to position 5. I and j and I will swap, and it will be the same thing because they're both in position 1, 1. Then we're going to move on and we're going to swap 6 with 8, and 9 will not swap with anything. So what we're going to end up with is an array that looks like this. So we've swapped 2 and 4, 3 and 7, 6 and 8, 1, 5 and 9 have stayed in the same places. And what we can see if we look at this array is that we're actually not far from where we need to be. If we were to reverse each row, we'd actually be in the positions where we need to be. So we'd have 1 here, 2 here, 3 here. So that'd be 1, 2, 3. 4, 5 and 6 are in the correct positions, and 7, 8, 9, if we were to swap the places, would also be in the correct positions. So let's go through and transpose our array, and then we'll come back to making sure we rotate it by 90 degrees when compared to its first position. So back in our code editor, we can easily come through now and we can create a temporary value. So we're going to say let temp number equal, and what we're going to say is that the temporary variable is going to equal the array, or matrix as it's called, position I and j. So we've stored that variable now, so we can always change the variable that's in here now. We're then going to take this value and assign that to matrix ji, and then we're going to take the matrix ji and assign that the value that is stored in temp. So that's going to go through and it's going to transpose our array. And that's going to leave us a transposed array like this. So now the final thing to do is to go through and make sure each column is reversed. So in order to do that, back in the editor, we're going to say we're only going to need to loop through once because we're going to be addressing each row. So we're going to say for let I equals 0, I less than matrix dot length I plus plus. So we're going to go through each row in our matrix, and then we're going to say matrix I, meaning the row in the matrix that we're going to be assigning the reversed value to. Say matrix I is equal to matrix I dot reverse, and then open and close parentheses to call that function. And then we were told not to return the matrix and to do this in place, modify it in place. But just so we can show that this is working, I'm going to say console.log matrix. And then we're going to call rotate on a 2D matrix, so on a 2D array. So we're going to say 1, 2, 3 in the first row, next row is 4, 5, 6, and then in the last row 7, 8, 9. And that should console log the rotate of that array. So if we click run, we can see that we have 1, 2, 3 in all the right positions, 4, 5, 6 in all the right positions, 7, 8, 9 in the right positions. I'm just going to copy that and paste that down here so that we can see more clearly that we have got the output that we're expecting when compared to the input that we gave. So we can see that we've now successfully rotated our array by 90 degrees. If you found this video useful, please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and consider sharing this with a friend that might also find this video useful. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.